You're listening to True Chat Inc.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Current Issue Show on True Chat, broadcasting from Studio 2A in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm Justin T. Weller.
And I'm Cam Pierce.
As always, thank you very much for tuning into today's show. And per our policy, I am here to inform you that it is day 2228 of the Syrian civil war, which started on March 15th, 2011. The statistic I'd like to share with you today is who is responsible for total casualties, civilians and non-civilians, in Syria since mid-March 2011 until February 2017, based on violations documentation. 79.6% the Syrian government, 2.5% the Russian government, ISIS 3.2%, opposition forces 12.7%. So, then there's some other tiny miscellaneous statistics. International coalition 0.6%. So, there are your statistics today on the Syrian civil war, which brings us to a very different topic, and that is copy and conquer. Facebook wins again, as reported by the New York Times on Thursday, April 20th, 2017. From Farhad Manhu, I believe. State of the Art is his column. The tech world just witnessed a robbery. The heist was so brazen you kind of had to admire it, even if it was pulled off with all the grace of a gas station pickup. I love that analogy. Facebook barged into Snapchat's happy Venice Beach, California mansion, took a solid inventory of the goods, then lifted the crown jewels. First, a version of Stories, the fun slideshow format that Snapchat created, appeared last year on Instagram, owned by Facebook. Then Snapchat's features made their way to WhatsApp and Messenger, Facebook's chat apps. A couple of weeks ago, they got to the big leagues, Facebook's main app, and the heist was complete. On Tuesday, the leader of the Facebook crew, Mark Zuckerberg, put on a conference to show off his loot. But he went further. He unveiled a vision of augmented reality in which digital objects and effects are overlaid on images of the real world, which would undercut Snapchat's mission to become the camera company for the next generation. So first off, I'd like to commend this particular article. It was entertaining to read while making some, whether or not you agree with them, some good points, I would say. So, you can disagree with the points, but I think the points are well made and the facts are well established. So we'll probably quote some other pieces from there, but I kind of just want to open from Cam with, I guess I always kind of maybe knew that Facebook took that approach to things in terms of, we just kind of gobble up the competition as opposed to, competing with them. Let's just smush them or, eat them or something. I guess I kind of always knew that. I guess I never looked at it to this extent because the article goes on to explain a lot of, the different things over the years that Facebook has done to either squash or consume its competition, like Instagram. Why compete with Instagram when you can just buy it? So, and it made a lot of sense. So, question to you, first one to open with is, have you ever, until now, fully appreciated the extent to which Facebook strategically captures or copies other inventions?
Captures, yes. Copies, no.
Okay.
You've
appreciated how much it captures, but
yes,
not how much it actually copies.
Right. I didn't know that they probably have done it with a lot of smaller apps, but Snapchat has just been gaining so much value on the stock market that it's kind of crazy that Facebook decided to do this now. But I'm sure they've seen apps that are just, rising stars and then copies their stuff and they just fall flat on their face. With way smaller companies that aren't, noticeable, obviously. But I've never noticed this before where it's just like, yeah, we're just going to straight up copy you. If you're not going to let us buy you, we'll just copy you and pretty much call it the same thing and do the exact same things. And since we have a bigger audience and more money, we'll just bully you out. But capturing, I knew right after they signed the Instagram deal. I was like, uh-oh, now Facebook has got some serious money there. Ad algorithm is just running on complete and full torque, and they're going to be doing this for some time to come. I'm surprised they haven't tried to offer Twitter anything, just sort of completely corner the American social media market, besides for Snapchat, obviously. But they probably won't need to acquire Snapchat now that they've copied almost everything that makes Snapchat unique.
I will say the article makes a great point of something that the one piece of the article that I think I unequivocally agree with is that the world continues to doubt Mark Zuckerberg. I think they should probably quit that at some point.
Is he an underdog? Mark Zuckerberg?
I think they doubted, right, that Facebook could survive MySpace. Because, I mean, I remember when they were hand in hand, you know. I know a lot of people thought for a while, MySpace has got this, you know, Facebook will die off eventually. And of course, it turned out the exact opposite way. I definitely remember, and I bet you do too, when Twitter came around. I mean, I think you and I said at some point that Twitter would be the death of Facebook, you know, and now look who's struggling. It's not Facebook. You know, Twitter is grasping for anything at this point to figure out how to get itself out of a slump. And, you know, I mean, whether it's whether it's Google, whether it's Vine, whether it's, you know, whatever, it's on and on and on.
Who purchased Vine? Was that Facebook too, or was that Twitter?
No, I think
that
Vine just shut down.
Oh, well, that's upsetting. Because that's some more thievery right there, is Twitter just completely stole that Vine thing. Now
stole that Vine.
Yeah, now videos under 6 seconds, just they replay on Twitter all the time.
Looping video.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you know, there's umpteenth number, their initial public offering. I remember we talked about that when Facebook was going public, you know.
Yeah, it was acquired by Twitter.
And it was like, oh, you know, this will be the end of Facebook. Look how weak it was. It never, you know, should have performed this well. And here they are still today plugging along, you know. I think that it's kind of reminiscent of how Facebook got started, which is that everybody doubted, you know, that except for a minute group of people, that Mark Zuckerberg could hold it together and get it done. And here he is with his company, you know, whatever it is, 17 years later, and just chugging along with his 1 billion plus users on multiple platforms.
Killing it.
The largest social network.
So I guess the whole Twitter Vine thing, for what it's worth, is not very similar to this, because Twitter actually acquired Vine.
Right. And then just stole the one thing that was useful.
Yeah, and then shut the rest of it down this year.
Vine.
See you later.
It's over. Yeah, that's true.
Vine stars, man, I tell you what, that was a fad, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
God.
It's a big fad.
Oof. I wonder if any of those guys made it out. Did you see that they went to Vine when Vine was going to get shut down? They were like, yo, dog, all the big Vine stars and stuff that had like millions of followers on Vine, and they were like, pay us like $100 million for all of us, and we'll all stay and create exclusive content for Vine. We won't go to YouTube. We won't go to anybody else. You didn't see anything about this?
No.
No, it's very interesting. Anyway, side topic.
Yeah.
That we're not really talking about.
All right, so Cam got the extent to which they consumed, but not the extent to which they copied. And Cam has an issue with the extent to which they copy.
I do.
Tell us about that.
Well, I think this whole story thing was made by Snap Inc., the people who made Snapchat. I think it was at least conceptualized by them. They made it popular. They made it to, you know, a publicly traded company for pretty much one app, and I think those glasses that took pictures that one time. So that might be the only two things that they've really really made so far. But hey, that's how apps start, baby. You make one app and you get 100 million plus users. People are going to start looking at you. And I think that's part of it's their idea. It should be their domain, in my opinion. And Facebook to just, you know, steal it. I wouldn't be shocked if Twitter jumps on the same boat here once they realize Facebook isn't going to get sued by Snap Inc. Wouldn't that be a dastardly plan? Oh, my mind just went churning. Snap Inc. wanted to wait till they got it on all their platforms so they could punch them right in the mouth on every single thing they got. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook proper. What if, dog? Oh, gee dang.
Is that the plan?
Ooh, that could be a good plan.
Let's be honest, though. Snapchat can't replace Facebook.
No, absolutely not. It doesn't try to do the same thing, so.
I know, but that's my point is it would be a disaster to take down the big dog.
Well,
You could risk.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't.
You could risk collapsing the hype of social media.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, sure, we don't.
Twitter would be on the sidelines. They'd swoop in, baby. They'd be like, "Whoa,
Would they?
this is us."
Would they?
Mm-hmm.
If Facebook went under,
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stars that just do Twitter. Everybody would either go to YouTube or Twitter.
there's
That's
a
what
ton
they do.
of them. There's
Ton
just
of
not a billion of them.
Yeah,
That's
there's,
the thing. Twitter's really more for the celebrities and the people who follow them. And that's not what Facebook is. I mean, yeah, it has that. but
Facebook is for the fuddy-duddies.
Facebook is for your friends.
Yeah.
That's how they built themselves. And that's that's mainly what it's for. Where do I get my birthday notifications
Has that
from?
ever been a slogan?
Not Twitter.
Facebook is for your friends,
I don't know.
or Facebook is where your friends are. That's a
Let
good
it be
one.
known
That's
that
not
this
bad.
is proof of concept,
Oh,
Facebook. And
I
that
think
if
so.
you'd like to use
Yeah.
that,
We need some
we
money,
are
baby.
claiming official copyright
we,
on that. So as of this day, what's today?
Patent pending. Oh,
As-
it's 420,
as
baby.
of Thursday, April 20th,
420.
2017.
See, we should have talked about something marijuana related.
At what's the time? I don't know.
Damn it.
Can't read it.
1:39.
1:39 p.m. Eastern time.
You're totally ignoring me on my marijuana thing.
What's that?
420. Do you not know what 420 is?
No.
All right. You're a really bad millennial. You know that?
Thanks.
It's a holiday that
Not-
celebrates weed, the devil's lettuce,
I'm glad I didn't know about it.
marijuana.
I don't like marijuana, so.
Well, we could have talked about medical marijuana. There's a new plant coming
Well, I don't
in.
like that either.
Oh, okay, great. Why don't you like medical marijuana?
I just don't like marijuana.
Okay.
I mean, I think people who need it should have access to it.
Right. So then you like medical marijuana.
No.
You like the concept of medical marijuana.
I like the concept of it. That's different than liking it.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Well, you don't do medical marijuana.
I like the idea of sunbathing on the beach, but I don't do it very often.
Ah, okay.
And it gets hot and I get sweaty in it,
Yeah.
The idea of it sounds nice.
Sweaty Justin is bad Justin. He doesn't like it. Gets sticky. Not great.
Nope. It's very moist in here today.
It is.
I hope my brother's listening. Moist.
Ooh, does he hate moist?
He does.
Oh.
I don't get why. It's like-
That's it. It was freaking.
It's a
We were talking
It's
to
just a
Kathy
word.
and Becca after they recorded some shows the other day, and they were like,
Moist.
"Moist, I hate it." And I was like, "I don't understand."
Oh, moist.
Such
Okay.
a weird word.
Anyway, Facebook.
Thievery, man. I don't like it.
Gotcha. So you think that the government should swoop in, slap Facebook on the wrist, make them pay a
No, I
massive fine to the government, give nothing to
hell no.
Snapchat,
Yeah.
and then Snapchat to sit there and be like, thanks, government, you did it.
Snapchat needs to lawyer up, homie. Go after him. We had proof of concept, man.
Do they?
Oh, that'd go to the Supreme Court. I bet it would.
Maybe. Here, you want to play the hypothetical, Cam, since you started it earlier. Maybe what Snap is actually doing is they're not coming after Facebook because they know they don't have proof of concept and they stole it from somebody.
Ooh. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then everybody's the villain, except for Facebook, because then they thieved something that was already thieved. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
God, I love real world that's not real life. It's a good
I mean,
time.
let's be honest. That's probably as likely as your scenario that Snapchat is just waiting for Facebook to finish developing it to the extent of being able to say that is a Snapchat copy, pulled apart into pieces and put on your various platforms. That's probably as likely as Snapchat founders having actually stolen that from somebody else, and they're afraid that if they attempt a proof of concept that they won't be able to back it up because whoever that is or whatever organization that is will step forward, come out of the shadows and say, I don't think so.
Oh, what if that was their long con the whole time? They accidentally slipped some sort of proof of concept to the guys wanting to create Snapchat. Oh, and it's just like a go back thing. We flash back 5 years. God, this show's going well. I love it a lot. Oh, what if? Oh, that'd be awesome.
Too many what ifs, though. Too many innuendo.
You're not wrong.
Innuendi.
Innuendo.
I don't think that's a word.
No, it is.
We need to confirm
It is
that.
now.
Too much speculation. We'll go
No,
with that one.
we'll go innuendo.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, before we continue, we're going to get Cam's solutions to this situation. How can we fix this in the future so that people's ideas aren't stolen? And you're going to hear whether or not I think it's an issue. But before we get to that, hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to remind you that this show, new episodes of it, are available every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday by 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And Cam, what's True Chat's show of the week?
Oh, well, Justin T. True Chat show of the week is Business is Art.
Oh, so business is art, ladies and gentlemen. It is actually one of my favorite shows on the network, and I know Cam says that about all of his, but when I say it, I do truly mean it. John Umstead, author and business consultant, takes you through his book as well as many other lessons that startups and podcast lovers alike can enjoy. Listen to this show by Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. True Chat will be the mortal enemy of speculation, innuendo, and stagnation. We will champion informed opinions and fresh ideas. True Chat will prove that media can be trusted, relied on, and responsible. We won't join the media elite because we're setting a new standard, a higher standard, the True Chat standard.
Hey, if I say that about a lot of shows, you know what they know for a fact?
What?
That if I don't say it, I don't like those shows.
That would be true.
Yep.
He doesn't say it about the Current Issue show.
Oh, dang.
And in order
Scandal.
to maintain the highest of ethical standards, we make it easy for you to voice any concerns with today's episode by emailing ethics@truechat.org. That's ethics at truechat.org. So back to the article. Quote, let's end with a note on the ethics of all this. Some of you may find it upsetting that a big company can just lift an innovation from a small company and run with it. If it's not illegal, isn't it at least something we should discourage? Miranda Kerr, who is Mr. Spiegel's fiance, the founder of Snap, recently told the Times of London that she couldn't stand Facebook's behavior. Quote, can they not innovate? Do they have to steal all of my partner's ideas? She asked. When you directly copy someone, that's not innovation, end quote. To which I say, meh. There are lots of different kinds of innovation in the tech industry. Coming up with something first is not the only kind. There is a rich history in this industry of taking someone else's idea and adding your own spin on it to improve tech for everyone. Steve Jobs of Apple and the team behind the original Mac were inspired by a bunch of ideas floating around tech research circles, including at Xerox. Then Microsoft's chief executive, Bill Gates, saw the Mac's success, and by creating a new business model for the PC industry, he ushered in an even bigger deal. Graphical computers that could get cheap enough for most people to own. Or look at the smartphone. Apple created the iPhone, but if the tech industry had stopped there, smartphones wouldn't have swept the world very quickly. Instead, Google, more or less, copied Apple's software ideas in early versions of Android, and Samsung essentially copied Apple's hardware. Economics kicked in, smartphones got really cheap, and they flooded the globe, and everyone did better. In time, Samsung hit on its own big idea. Huge phones. Huge. The Apple copied, and Apple then made a bundle. So let's not get too hung up on copying. All's fair in love and rainbow vomit. For those of you that don't know, there is a rainbow vomit filter for Snapchat.
I don't know if it's vomit. It just looks like you filled your mouth up with rainbow and it falls out of the bottom of your chin.
Okay.
Not projectile vomit anyway.
Okay.
Just for you at home.
So Cam, this is a problem. We got to stop it.
Yep.
It's not right.
Yep.
Innovation sucks.
Well,
so
I don't know about that.
What do we do about it? What do we got? What do you want to do?
Well,
then we'll talk about whether or not I actually think it's an issue. Cam thinks I don't think it's an
I don't
issue.
think there's an easy solution to this.
No
for
easy
sure.
solution.
I think
there's a hard solution.
common sense would tell you that this was, until further proven, their concept, their idea that they made.
And you're contending that stealing somebody else's concept is wrong.
Yes.
That using somebody else's concept without compensation or credit is wrong. Because we used the New York Times idea, and we didn't give them compensation for said idea. We did give them credit.
What idea did we use?
Well, this show, it wouldn't exist today if I hadn't stolen it from the New York Times. But I didn't steal it then, did I? Because I gave them credit. I may have said the guy's name wrong, but I made sure to quote the article.
Are we profiting off this show?
Well, as you and I would contend, True Chat Originals are the essential piece of True Chat's core business.
Are we profiting off this show specifically?
Yes. It's part of our ongoing success through the network. It allows us to sell shows that drive revenue.
But we're not stealing a smaller company's idea.
So it's only wrong because it's a big guy stealing from a slightly less big guy.
Yes.
It's the behemoth stealing from the giant.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only reason it's wrong.
I
So it
think
can go the other way. So it'd be okay if Snapchat stole something from Facebook.
I wouldn't feel as bad about it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's
what it's
like
worth,
the legal opinion that I should have, but
if I was on your side of the argument, I just wouldn't be okay with it. Ethics is ethics is ethics. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It's not okay for a rich person. Robin Hood, whether or not you like it, was a bad dude. He broke the law. And yeah, you might be able to say he did it for good reasons, but that doesn't make it any less unlawful, So, yes, he did it for a good reason. Yes, it may have been necessary, but if you're going to break the law, or if you're going to do something wrong, then you need to be able to admit that it was wrong.
Well, yeah, but I think, ethics and ethics for ethics' sake, I don't like it. I don't like just saying that. I think there's got to be a reasonable, because that's the only way we're going to do this law, right? Or if it's going to be a law, or if
this is all you, man.
Because
we're getting to me.
It's big time companies like this who steal from smaller companies that is wrong. I think smaller companies taking something that a bigger giant company that's making billions upon billions of dollars and trying to make it better is important, and that's good. I also think it's wrong no matter which way you go if it's just a blatant steal. Facebook has done nothing to make this story thing any better. It's just the exact same thing that Snapchat does. The only thing that's different is they have a bigger audience and more resources. If they make it better, if they innovate on it, then I think we have a different conversation, but they haven't done that.
I guess
they only say they're going to.
Right.
Do that.
I would say that on the exact premise of stories, they haven't done anything to make it better. What I would say that they have done, which I think is critical, is they have made it a part of a better platform. And I think that is important.
That's all subjective.
Well, sure. But this whole thing's subjective.
Is it?
Yeah, you think it's wrong and other people don't. That's subjective. You can say that you're objectively right, and they're going to say, no, I'm objectively right. It's not against the law.
It's ethically gray. That's objectively right.
It's ethically gray. Okay. Your side of the ethics is that it's wrong. Somebody else's is that it's right.
You think anyone with any self-respecting ethics would say that, yeah, what Facebook did is super right?
I think that's where you get into ethics versus morals. Because ethically, they're not outside the bounds of trying to skirt a law. They're obviously following the law, or at least Snapchat thinks so enough to the extent that they're not willing to come after them.
Not yet.
Right. That's also insinuating that they may at some point, which we have no evidence to at the moment. As of now, they have not tried to come after Facebook, and we have no evidence to suggest that they will. So obviously, as of right now, they have no reason to believe that they have a strong enough case as to all the tech startups.
Startups?
Yeah. Well, they were all startups at one point.
I guess.
Facebook. You know what I'm getting at. It's hot in here, man.
We
have got to get an air conditioner.
I'm going kooky in here, man. Yep. I tell you what.
Anyway, back
this
back
might
to your
not
point.
be our most organized show.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do about it?
I just told you. Well, I think if it is extremely... I hate legislation, man. You got to get your wording right or it'll just be manipulated again. If it's very apparent that a company has stolen a piece of technology or a concept idea or something like that from another company, I think the company that was stolen from should be compensated. I think it's as simple as that. And stuff like this is why patent laws are so idiotic. Why companies all the time get freaking, they trademark words. Like Marvel owned zombie for a while. Like, you kidding me? The word zombie. What's the point? The guy who owned the Happy Birthday song for a while. Like, these people are monsters. If they didn't make the song and then you can just go and buy patents everywhere, I think that's ridiculous. So this will help some of that as long as we, can uphold and see the common sense that is this straight up thievery.
Can you look for me when Instagram was founded?
Okay.
And when Snapchat was founded, please?
Okay.
Anyway, obviously there are legislative issues with what you propose. For example, very apparent is a completely subjective term, and we need a way to define what
I know. I
what
mean,
very
I
apparent
don't
qualified
write
as.
freaking legislation.
I know. I'm just saying, obviously, obviously Facebook would say it's not apparent, and Snapchat would say it is apparent, and they just, go back and forth, back and forth.
Instagram was launched in 2010.
Okay.
Do you want to get more specific than that?
Sure.
October 2010.
Yep.
I can't get more specific than that. And Snapchat was created September 2011.
So, by reasonable assumption, Snapchat stole Instagram's concept, and they improved upon it. They stole the idea of sharing pictures online in a timeline format and said, we'll just make them disappear. And then we'll add this thing where we...
Is that really
where we
stealing?
Wow.
Is that extremely... Oh, my God.
Is taking the idea of stories stealing? Does Snapchat own the right to stories?
That's specific. That's extremely specific. Way more specific than sharing pictures on the internet. Then Facebook stole everything from MySpace. And I think it did.
And MySpace stole it from somebody else. And, that person stole it from somebody else. And so on and so forth. And stealing is stealing is stealing.
And people should be compensated for that.
And Apple, who was the little baby startup at the time, stole the idea from Xerox for the Mac. And then Microsoft stole the idea for the business PC from the Mac.
And if you don't think we can solve that and have an ethical solution.
I think there is a difference in the fundamental argument of whether or not there is an issue. I think some of the greatest inventions in human history were stolen. There's the great debate about who invented the radio. Well, the guy who's given credit kind of pretty much stole the idea from somebody else. So, there's all kinds of fundamental inventions that the only reason that they actually become something that were practically used for a long period of time is because somebody else stole it and made it, put their tweak on it or just marketed it better and was able to distribute it.
See, but with today's society,
Instagram already has a larger user base.
Records and the ability to track all these different transactions and what people do, I would be shocked if we were not able to police this a little more and rightfully give people credit.
I think we're able to. It's just a matter of whether or not we should, based off of the innovation of allowing it to happen. I believe that Instagram is a better platform overall than Snapchat. And so do Instagram's 500 million users, as opposed to the 160 million that use Snapchat. So yeah, is it subjective? Sure. But there are 500 million people who think that it's better, obviously, than Snapchat.
Those numbers are completely inflated, though, by being purchased by Facebook. It's the same thing with Google Plus, that you have to have a Google Plus account to have a YouTube account.
Those are people that use Instagram. It's not just people who have who actively...
Is that your stat?
Yeah.
That use
it's
Instagram.
200 million. The stat that we have access to that's in front of me is 200 million people use use Instagram stories. And there are a total of 160 million people with an account on Snapchat, which means less than that use the stories feature.
Are active users.
Exactly. So just that comparison alone of what was stolen, there's more people that use it. So obviously there's got to be something better about it,
But there's not. But you've already got people on a platform. That's the thing, Justin.
But
you know how the internet works.
But people being there is better.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. A larger network is better.
Not for the stories concept as a whole.
If you're an advertiser, advertisers use stories, and you want to advertise, are you going to use the platform that has 200 million?
Has nothing to do with it.
Or less than 160 million?
Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with the stories specifically being any better or worse or being thieved or not from Snapchat.
Okay, so Snapchat has less total users.
Yep.
Instagram has more.
Mm-hmm.
That means that it is more likely that your friends, colleagues, and associates will be on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It is less likely that they will be on Snapchat. Yeah. That's just the way of the world. And that does make it inherently a little bit competitively better. Same reason that Facebook is still making more money than Twitter. They have a larger user base. Is that fair? No, it's not fair. But it is the way of the world. If you have,
I'm still not understanding how you're equating audience to the actual software itself of stories.
And
the
that's what
actual
I said.
idea of.
I'm not.
But that doesn't make it any better. You're arguing something different.
I'm saying by pairing it with something else, making a tweak, it makes it better.
Is audience a tweak? Is audience a new spin on it?
The amount of people that you give access to something?
I disagree to that entirely.
That's fine.
You would not be able to
disagree.
defend that in court. If they actually had a
You
patent
can't
on
defend
this,
what you're talking about in court, which is the very reason we're talking about this, because Snapchat hasn't done jack diddly crap.
Well,
because they can't. Because they don't have a legal leg to stand on.
You don't know that.
Because the people of this country have decided that Snapchat is not in the right.
No, it's okay. There's no reason to yell. I'm just saying, man. They haven't done anything yet, but you don't know if they don't have a legal leg to stand on.
And you don't know that they do.
You're right. Well, there you go. Argument over. See you later.
But at the moment, there's no court case.
You're right.
There's no patent suit. There's no crap. There's no nothing. Facebook is in the legal, i.e. the ethics of our country, right at the moment. They may not be in Camden's moral rights space, which is fine. And that means that maybe we should change the ethics of things.
And I think all of you that use Facebook and all of you that use social media should look at these decisions that social medias make very carefully, because if Facebook doesn't care about, quote unquote, the little guy that is Snapchat, Facebook certainly doesn't care about you, the user. They don't care about the individual user.
Well,
you're just a number on a sheet. Well, and that's the thing we're seeing with freaking Comcast and other cable providers who are just selling people, ISPs who are just selling people's information. Don't feel like Facebook's not just doing that.
Since the dawn of the internet, just for what it's worth.
Right, but you know stories like this as much as
the mainstream media blow it out of proportion. I tell you, don't blow it out of proportion.
You want to let me finish?
Go ahead.
People, the mainstream Joe Blow person doesn't know that these things are happening unless big stories like this come out. I'm telling you, I could walk down the street and talk to 50 people, and I bet 3 of them would know that their ISPs can track what kind of porn they watch.
I'd be surprised if it was that high.
See? Well, you're proving my point here. Because it's just
because 1 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 or whatever the number is does not make it wrong. The fact that people are ignorant of something doesn't make it wrong. How many of those people that knew care? There's another statistic for you. Okay, if 1 out of 10 actually know, does that person even care? Because what if let's say it's your analogy. 3 out of 10 people know. If 2 of those 3 don't care, then get over it, Cam.
No,
get over it.
Because I think we ought to care. Because here's my big finale, my big stinger.
Cam's in an auto mode. We ought to do this. Wow, you're getting idealistic on me, my man.
I'm not. I think people and companies should be compensated for information or ideas that they come up with.
I agree.
I think people who use certain ISPs, gather information, should be compensated for the information that they gather. Based on the price that it is sold at. Same thing with this Snapchat story. There's my big stinger for you. You should be paid for surfing the web.
If people want it, they can take it.
Doubt it. Untrue.
Absolutely.
Nope.
Yep.
There's your idealistic mind coming out.
No, it's 100% true, Camden.
No, it's
That's
not.
how the biggest
really
changes.
not.
No, the biggest and most fundamental changes in our history were made by people protesting and saying enough is enough.
Yep.
You want to force ISPs to pay you? Great. Get somebody to shut down Cincinnati Time Warner Cable. That's it. Just one city. You want to bet that doesn't get national attention and immediately change overnight that ISP and how they pay people? Overnight it would change. 100% guaranteed. It's a fact. It is objectively correct, Camden. 100%.
One city.
Oh yeah.
What are you?
If the 2.3 million people in the metropolitan area of Cincinnati,
decided to just be done?
No, just the ones that use Time Warner Cable. Okay, they just said we're done until you pay us. We're done. We are not using it. Yes, you would shut down businesses for a few days, but that standoff wouldn't last very long because Time Warner could not deal with the fallout of that on a national scale. That would be the lead story on every news channel, conservative, liberal, or otherwise, for a week running every day that progressed. They would lead off with, today is day 3 of the Cincinnati Time Warner Cable strike.
Today is day 3.
People can change it. And I'm so tired of our generation and
it's not
all
a
of
generational
America,
thing.
And
not
all
a
of
generational
America.
thing.
It is.
No, it's not.
Also an American thing right now of being lazy and not believing that they can change things. We don't want to protest because that would be hard. We'd go without internet for 3 days. Why? Just get our lawmakers
I
to
don't know
fix
why you feel the
everything.
need to do this on shows lately, where it's just like, I'm going to have Justin's rant minute, where I'm just going to yell and scream at everybody.
I am tired, and I hope people get this. I am tired of people whining and moaning and just wanting everybody else to fix their problems for them. No American should have to work to change things. Just go make a law about it. Just go fix it. I don't care how it gets done. Just fix it. That's not what this country was built on, people. Wake up. You want change, make it happen.
Oh, my God.
I think it's that simple. If you want this to change, then get other people to care. And that's what you're working on right now.
Yep.
Camden is doing a piece of his part if he cares about it by telling other people that they should wake up and see the light. That people ought to be paid for their ideas.
I try my best.
Which isn't a novel concept.
But
you stole that idea, Camden.
No, I didn't.
Sure. The guy that invented patents had that same idea.
All
People
right.
ought to be paid for the things they invent.
Yep. You're right. I stole it. Right.
And you've improved upon it.
Right from
because
his
you've said
mouth.
patents are weak.
Patents
We
are
need to
weak.
make them better. I wonder if the guy who came up with the concept of patents had a patent on the patent. That'd be exciting.
I think my brain just melted. That might also be the temperature inside of this room.
It's probably that one.
Yeah. And you ranting and raving and screaming probably didn't help.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like people to know that I care about these things.
Do you?
Yep. If you're upset enough to talk about it, then change it. Otherwise, shut up and sit down.
That's not. I think that's a bad mindset to have.
No. If you're willing...
I think the active sharing of information and ideas that you have is important.
Let me refrain. If you're willing to
Rephrase.
advocate for a specific idea, if you are willing to suggest that this solution is what you believe is the right course of action, then you should be willing to defend and carry out said solution to the extent that's reasonable for you to do so. And it's reasonable to expect somebody, if they're not happy with the way an internet service provider works, to boycott said service provider. That's the whole reason that we have workers' rights. It's the reason we have minimum wage. You want to talk about a fundamental right of the American people? We wouldn't have gotten a minimum wage if people hadn't said enough is enough. That's just, objectively true. That is just the truth. It's just a history piece.
That's the truth.
People also fought harder, though, for what they wanted back then. And today people have this concept for some reason that the things we face are for some reason so more daunting than a minimum wage.
I think that has a lot to do with the way people conduct themselves when it comes to trying to solve societal problems or
Sure.
I don't know why it feels like in today's world, and I completely disagree with you that it's a generational thing, but whatever.
No, just to be specific, because I want you to get this, I'm saying I do believe that it is worse with our generation than others, but I believe for some reason there is something about the era we're living in across generations that has this mindset. For some reason, the baby boomers and the generation, in front of them has just resigned to the fact that you just got to submit to the man because you can't do it. And you're talking about the generations that literally stood up to the man, that said, this war we are not comfortable with, which was a totally foreign concept up until that point, mind you.
Yeah.
Because, World War I, World War II, by God, America's going to war. Everybody's on board. And if you say otherwise, you sit down and shut up. You either do your part or you don't say anything.
Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. Vietnam War comes along, and all of a sudden,
even the beginning of the Cold
concept
War, because it was just you go against us.
Exactly.
You're part of the Red Scare.
Exactly.
You're with the.
So you're talking
Ruskies.
about the generation that started this idea of standing up to the man is now just for some reason just A-okay with it. Maybe it's because they're tired, and that's reasonable, but. They have allowed that, I think, to infect their children, i.e. the millennials.
I think it all has to do with being
but the millennials now have to change it.
With all the technology that we have, man. I think that has a lot to do with it.
It doesn't help.
It it was a lot easier to protest things because that was the only thing going on back in Vietnam War days.
It's easier to protest now.
It
takes me 30 seconds to protest.
Oh, let me rephrase. It is easier to protest, but it is not as easy to get up off the couch and actually do it.
True. So Camden's solution to this is we need tighter legislation, better policing of idea concepts. There is, for what it's worth, a good chance, and above a 50% chance, that I can get on board with that idea, but only if you're willing to make it universal. I think the whole concept of it's okay to rob the rich to feed the poor is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because it leads to the same problem.
Can I say that? Can I say something else? I wanted to say that it bothers me more, but I don't think it has anything to do with legislation. I would never advocate for legislation that's just like, yeah, rich people suck. Like that's universally saying that is I think is foolish. But
because that goes back to perpetrating
the Bernie would tell me otherwise. But I don't think you should go after those people. By the way, did you see Bernie bought his third house a couple months ago?
Wow,
crazy stuff, man.
Bernie. The cute old man.
The cute old man.
The crazy old man.
Just for everybody else, except I got 3 houses, and my wife loves me because I got all this money.
That's right. I'm for everybody else. Don't mind my 3 houses. How many houses do most Americans have?
None. You know how many houses I have?
0.
0.
That's right.
Oh, my white privilege is just eking out of me.
Bernie.
But go.
I'm the everyday man.
We have 3 houses.
That's right. Don't mind those. Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. By the people, for the people.
It'd be so fun for him to run, man. I think it'd be so much fun.
Nah, he's just the crazy kook. The Bernie.
The burn.
The burn. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Nah, he'll be too old to run. Yeah, he was too old to run this time.
No.
When your lips dry out when you talk, you're too old to run.
Boo, hiss.
When they dry out enough that you have to lick them all the time.
Yeah.
Put some chapstick on, my man.
If I'm ever president, I'm taking away the age gate for president. Oh, what was I listening to the other day?
We got to get out of here.
I tell you what. No. We don't have to get out of here.
See if you come up with it.
What was I listening? No. I was listening to somebody the other day. I think it was like a stand. Oh, it was Daniel Tosh last night on my trip to Louisville.
Yeah.
He said, you know what? Screw the party system. Screw it. You know how we ought to vote for president? Everybody just gets to write in. It's nobody. The best people to run this country would never run for president. Would you agree?
Sure.
The best people to run this country would never run for president.
Not stupid enough to do that.
So let's just make it a write-in system. No campaign, no nothing. Beyonce, that's our next president right there.
But then you get somebody elected who doesn't want to be president.
It's like jury duty. You're exactly right. You just get a letter in the mail and you're
just like,
no. I'm president. No. Yes, it'd be awesome.
Presidents can resign.
It's the best. Well, then we take that away. It's got to be jury duty. You're here for 4
You're
years.
Force them to be president. Yep. I don't think. No, that's a bad idea.
Yep. No, it's a great idea.
All right.
Make it like jury duty.
We'll leave it up to you to decide, ladies and gentlemen. Good show today, though. I'm sorry we ran a little long, but I think it was a conversation worth having, especially in this digital age, this newfangled digital technology that we have.
It's hot in here.
If you haven't already, make sure that you download True Chat's mobile app. Tell somebody else to download it too, if you would. And to connect with us on social media right in the app, or visit our website, truechat.org. That's TRUECHAT.org. Again, that is truechat.org. True Chats Network offers a great lineup of shows on sports and politics to entertainment, business, lifestyle, and more. So make sure to explore what our network has to offer. For the Current Issues Show on True Chat, broadcasting from Studio 2A in Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm Justin T. Weller.
And I'm Cam Pierce.
As always, thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you next time on the Current Issues Show. Be the change.